So many people are socialized to be losers.
Mm-hmm.
So many people don't have any hope in themselves to actually try to do anything, to the point where they are so afraid and lazy, for lack of a better word, to do the work or any form of work, whether it be a job, some form of introspective work, mental health work, or anything requires you to put in any effort to be a better version of themselves. Now, most of the time, it's not their fault that they've developed that way, but at the end of the day, whatever the course of your life is, it is your responsibility.
The podcast for discussions and advice for all walks of life. With JayMariee and Blue, we've got topics just for you, bringing it all to light. We're vividly vocal. We're vividly vocal.
How dare you want something out of life? You've only got one, so why aren't you wasting it like I am? How dare you make something out of your existence? How dare you aspire to more? How dare you know your worth as a person? How dare you have the audacity to believe in yourself? How dare you get up every time you get knocked down? I can't, so you can't. What is a defeatist? A defeatist is a person who expects or is excessively ready to accept failure. But, my dear defeatists, there is a big difference between can't and won't. Cannot, lacking the ability to do something. Will not, choosing not to do something. Welcome back, everybody, to Vividly Vocal with your hosts, Aery Blu
and your host, JayMariee.
And today, you guys, as you can see, the topic of this episode is to the defeatists. You can't or you won't. But first off, before we get into it, there's no wig of the week this week, as you can see. There won't be a wig of the week for a few weeks. I know I change my wig every episode, but I finally found a braider in Houston that wouldn't charge my soul as payment. Let's get into some special announcements first, because it seems like we have a special announcement every single episode. The last episode, Ghetto Fabulous or Ghetto Fraudulent Part 1, is now our highest viewed main episode at 1.8 thousand views. So no shade. I was hoping that episode would flop because I did not want people to see me clown like that. I was like, this probably gonna get 20 views, 30 maybe. That hoe said 1.8 thousand.
She clowned and she did that.
Sick. That is sick, really. But yeah, we do a little clowning over here. Of all the episodes that popped by itself, no promo, no nothing,
Crazy.
it had to be that one. That's kind of fucking crazy. But you know what? We reached 200 subscribers though. This topic is something I've been wanting to discuss because I feel that so many people are socialized to be losers. Mm-hmm. So many people don't have any hope in themselves to actually try to do anything, to the point where they are so afraid and lazy, for lack of a better word, to do the work or any form of work, whether it be a job, some form of introspective work, mental health work, or anything requires you to put in any effort to be a better version of themselves. Now, most of the time, it's not their fault that they've developed that way, but at the end of the day, whatever the course of your life is, it is your responsibility. And that kind of bleeds over into the friendships and the relationships with other people, whatever friend, family member, they're looking at their accomplishments and what they've succeeded at. And they've already told themselves that they can't do something. They're like, well, why the fuck are they so special? Why can't I be like them and be good at things? It's like, you can if you tried and put in some effort. The key word is time and effort. Time plus
Mm-hmm.
effort
Mm.
equals good things.
The word I can't and I won't, it irritates me because a lot of y'all will hit that, oh, I can't, I can't do this, or I don't want, or I won't do that. And it's like, in all honesty, with the word can't, are you sure that you honestly can't do it? Because a lot of y'all, when y'all say y'all can't, y'all end up, I hate when those people say, oh, I can't do it, and then they turn around and then it's like a couple minutes later and they end up doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and they do it better than, oh, well, I can't do this because ABCDFG, and then you end up
Mm-hmm.
doing it 10 times better than what you predicted. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what what made you think that you couldn't? Did you just not want to do it? If you just would have said, I don't want to do it, I won't do it, that would have been a little bit better. But you're just saying, oh, I
Uh-huh.
can't do it. And it's like you're basically substituting for the word. Like, don't sugarcoat the shit. Just say you don't want to do it. Say, I won't do this because. Don't hit me with the, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
can't do it. And then later on I see you doing it. And it's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
bitch, you can do it. So
Mm-hmm.
why you didn't want to do it? Just say, well, I just don't want to. I don't want to do it. That's it. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think a big component of that is fear too. You're afraid.
Definitely.
You don't want to try anything new. You're scared of the unknown. So you want to stay with your familiar. You might hate your life right now, but you're scared of something new that you're
Right.
about to go do.
And it's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's like it's okay to be scared, but sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of saying I can't, say I can try, or
Right.
I will try to do it, or let me see if I can. Don't
Mm-hmm.
hit me with the, oh, I can't. I hate a motherfucker who hits me with the I can't. That shit is
Mm-hmm.
honestly annoying. That's just like, think about it. Can you say I can't do this at a job? Like, say, for example, you working at Target and they tell you, go stock the shelf. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
can't. Okay, well, why can't you? Oh, because da-da-da-ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da-da. Well, bitch, that's in your job description. So why you can't? Please let me
Right.
know. Then you go over there and do it. Just tell me that you didn't want to do it. You won't do it. That's it right there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say, "Oh, I can't do this at a fucking job." So why are
Mm-hmm.
you using it for other things? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
That right there, I think that's a component of laziness right there. Like that's just like I don't want to do it. Like I can't. So people be using can't and won't entertain interchangeably. In that case, you just don't want to do it. Like go fill the motherfucking shelf up. You know, it's
Exactly.
part of your it's part of your job description. But people who are defeatists, like they give up before they even start.
Mm-hmm.
They end it before they even begin. Like, damn, did you even give it a chance?
Well, how can you say you don't like it if you haven't even given it a chance?
I agree with Stewie. It's not really fair.
I used to be a defeatist in a way, but there comes a time when you have to be tired of your own bullshit in order to change as a person.
Exactly.
Because at that point in my life, I couldn't do the same shit no more. Just because I didn't want to try something new, because at the end of the day, I was being a detriment to nobody else but myself at the end of the day. So I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't be mad at nobody else but myself. And in turn, when you're mad at yourself, that bleeds in your relationships with other people because you treat people how you feel about yourself.
Right.
Like I couldn't hold myself back and be my own worst enemy anymore. Like all these people putting themselves in these fucked up situations that end in disaster, and then they be like, "Life is horrible. It's hopeless." It's like, well, you put yourself there.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
like the fuck? I'm gonna mess up my makeup. But when I was younger, the only emotion that I knew was fear. So I was always operating in fear. To me, when I was younger, like I said earlier, it was better to be in a situation that I felt familiar but fucking hated rather than face the fear of the unknown. But when I was growing up, that fear was instilled in me from a kid. Like I was always told I can't do something, I won't be able to do something. This person is better than you at this and that. So you shouldn't even try to do that. I was told what I could and could not do before I even knew the possibilities of the whole world before me. So I already had it in my
Wow.
mind that I couldn't do literally fucking nothing. But when I turned 18, I graduated high school, basically had no clue of what to do with my life because I didn't have any guidance on life after school and things of that nature. So I knew that the only person responsible at the end of the day for the course of my life
Mm-hmm.
was me. The only person I had to blame for positioning myself as I got older and older and older in these positions was me. A lot of y'all believe you can't do something because somebody told you couldn't do it, whether verbally through their actions or that you can't do something. And that turns into your inner voice. The first voices we have around us that teaches us how to speak was our parents or our guardians. But
Right.
a lot of y'all also tell yourselves that. So you don't even try to do anything. And I'm not even exaggerating. I know people who do nothing. It's like, damn, did you get up out the bed today? Like, and it's not even on no, like, oh, you have a depression of some. No, it's not even like that. It's just like you just sat in your house and stared at the blank walls all day.
Right.
Hmm. I had never been allowed to have control over anything growing up. But now, when I was that 18-year-old girl, I had to do the work to gain the control over my life. And emphasis on I had to do the motherfucking work. When I'm sad or in despair, it does nothing for me to wallow in it. Like, it does nothing for me to wallow in the sadness and despair. I'm a solution oriented person. One thing about me is if something's wrong, I'm going to fix it.
Right.
Now, how did I go about taking the steps to become the opposite of defeatist, to get out of that defeatist attitude? Number one, I isolated myself and became a more well-rounded person.
Mm-hmm.
So I was investing in myself, in my look, because if you feel good, you look good. It's basic psychology. At that time, I was exercising a lot. I started learning about skincare. And I was like, well, what do I have? Like, it seems like I have nothing right now. So what do I have? And I was like, I got my mind. I'm smart. I can learn things. I know how to do things. So I educated myself about credit, financial responsibility, all that. I got my first credit card on my own, paid it off every single month. And now I'm pushing 800 on my credit score. That's something. I cleansed my social media of the people that made me feel bad about myself because you know the same. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Right.
You see all these young people, these people with all these fucking Lambos, Range Rovers, big ass houses, and you feel like you're a failure by the time you turn 21 because you don't have all that. I had to completely rewire my whole brain. I always say I had to reprogram my brain into speaking good things about myself. I had to rewrite that inner monologue that you have about yourself that you have throughout your day in your brain. So
Right.
it took years. It's not an overnight easy process at all, but it was worth it at the end of the fucking day. And also have gratitude, relax, be comfortable, but don't be complacent. Don't confuse comfortable with complacent.
Mm-hmm.
Had to trust where I am and trust the process. And then life pushed me forward. I still have a ways to go, but it's been worth it so far.
I love that. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I can say as far as that, growing up, I wanted to do almost everything. I guess the
Mm-hmm.
word, I wouldn't say I lived in fear, but I lived in insecurity, if that makes sense. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you can't look like this because you can't be that because you look a certain way. Oh, you can't do that because you look a certain way. You're built a certain way. It was just these things. And I grew up very insecure. I was insecure about my looks, my skin color, my weight. And I used to honestly hold myself back from a lot. I would see girls my size
Mm-hmm.
doing track. I would see girls my size doing volleyball. And I would want to do something like that. But in my mind, it was like, you can't do that because
Yeah.
look at you. Look what size you
Mm-hmm.
are. Or I
Right.
would see certain girls wear like certain like hairstyles or certain nails or certain like things. And
Mm-hmm.
I would want to do that. And it's like in your mind, you can't do that because look at what color you are. You're darker
Mm-hmm.
than them. And it would like put me in a depression because it's like I would look at these girls on Instagram, look at some of the girls in high school, and I'm like, damn, I want to, like, it made me very insecure to the point where I'm like, damn, I want to be like y'all. I ain't do nothing
Mm-hmm.
crazy or nothing, but it's like I just limited myself a lot to where nobody really knew who the hell I was in school because I would tell myself I can't do it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like now, literally about to be 30, and I'm literally I'm overcoming it, and it's a work in progress because being in that mindset for so long and being in that, in those phases, it's like it's hard to get out of it.
Right.
So it's like
Mental
now,
thing.
yeah, it's like now, girl, put that shit on. Who gives a
Mm-hmm.
fuck? Girl, wear that. Who gives a fuck? Like, it
Mm-hmm.
does not matter. At the end of the day, someone is going to, you know, fuck with you. Someone's going to be, your boo. Someone's going to be your friend. Like,
Mhm.
who cares? I
Mhm.
guess it was more of, I was saying I can't because I was worried about everybody's opinion. And
Yeah.
that was a problem of mine. I was worried about
Mhm.
everybody's opinion that was around me, to the point where I kept telling myself I can't. But it's like, fuck what y'all got to say about me, about what the fuck I put
Mhm.
on, how I do my hair. Just fuck all of that. And if you got a problem with it, you literally can kiss my ass. Like, I don't give a fuck at the end of the day. Like, fuck you, respectfully. So it's like, to all the girls out there who has dealt with that and still currently dealing with that, I'm telling you, it's going to get better. You got this.
Mhm.
And stop telling yourself that you can't. It's not that
Mhm.
you can't. Step out of that can't and learn to trust the process and just try it. I'm telling you, once you
Right.
step out of that box and try it and literally see that you can do it, the word I can't is literally going to be, it's not going to exist anymore.
You're more capable than you think. You know, I'm doing things I thought I would never do because
Right.
I just believed I couldn't do that. I was like, that could never happen to me. Oh, I could never do this. I could never do that. But look at this happening right now. You're more capable than you think. And regarding the opinions of others, as you grow older, it's like you get tired of worrying about, oh, what about this? What is this person going to say about me? What is that person going to say about me? Oh, what is this? It's like, cut it. Yeah, at one
Right.
point, it's just like, ugh. I don't
Right.
care anymore. I got things I need to do. I'm recently getting back into TikTok. So this lady, I think it was recently, like maybe her 35th birthday or something like that. And she was like, here's my advice to younger girls. Well, one of them was stop worrying about what other people think, what the people in your hometown think. They're small minded, this and that, this and that. They have no impact on the course of your and trajectory of your life. So make your content. If you're a content creator, don't be afraid of being seen.
Right.
That was another big thing I learned. A video I watched. A lot of people hold themselves back from making content because they're afraid of people from their hometown or people they know in their real life watching and commenting on it. But at some point, it's like, who gives a fuck? Watch, comment,
Right.
engage, like. You're only helping
Right.
me. People are only human. They don't have any impact on how your life is going to turn out. Like they're not God. Their opinions are not the end all be all of you. So it's just like as long as you're operating in what you need to do and your purpose at the end of the day, who are you hurting? You're not hurting nobody. So I mean, live your life.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
then y'all gotta also get out of that mindset too. Blue had to get me out of that. I promise you, Blue had to get me out of it. Stop worrying about your hometown. Sometimes the shit that you do is beyond fucking where you stay. Like literally, you can stay in Austin, Texas, and literally hit millions. You could be all the way in Quebec. You could be all the way in Jamaica. Like your content can fly everywhere,
Hmm.
but you're so like level minded on, well, what if the people in Austin don't fuck with me? Who cares? What do the people in Austin have to do for you? Like at the end of the day, if they don't support, it's a literal fuck them, because the people
Hmm.
in Quebec like you, the people
Hmm.
in Jamaica like you, hell, the people in Italy fuck with you. So why
Hmm.
does little old Austin matter to you? Keep doing the
Hmm.
shit that you're doing. Again, it's that mindset of, oh, I can't because Austin don't support me. Like I was literally in that mindset when it came to this podcast. It was like, I don't want to do this, or I can't do this, or I don't feel comfortable doing this because, well, what about Beaumont? And, I wouldn't express it to Blue, but it would be just something in my mind. And I could tell Blue kind of she felt me saying it in my head. And she was just like, girl, fuck Beaumont. Fuck these people out here. What does the mindset of Beaumont have to do with you? What
Right.
is what are they pushing to Vividly
Right.
Vocal? What are they
Right.
providing? What are they contributing to Vividly Vocal? And it's
Right.
like I had to think about it. I'm like, you right. You show fucking right.
Right.
Like we're beyond Beaumont. Literally, we're beyond Beaumont. So it's like, why stress over the little shit when we have big shit ahead of us?
Hmm.
But it was like,
Right.
again, the mindset of, oh, I won't do that, or I can't do that because A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Y'all got to
Hmm.
step out of that immediately.
Right.
or try to, not immediately, because it takes time, but try to at least step out of it.
Now, from my understanding, Beaumont, Texas is one big popularity contest. I don't buy into
Facts.
popularity contests. And JayMariee was one day expressing, why doesn't Beaumont support us? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck, Keisha. Like, we in all these different countries. We got a bunch of people writing their emails to us every day asking us not to stop this podcast. At the end of the day, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. Beaumont's population is 100,000 people. So who gives a
Mm-hmm.
fuck? So I remember one day JayMariee was like, oh my God, this other podcast is starting in Beaumont. And I was like, so? They said they're the top podcast in Beaumont. And I was like, so?
So,
And then another one came, two more came. And one of the fucking, what is it called? The promotional, they did like a little trailer. Do you like your roles setting on number 3 or number 5? And then was like, look at this. They're starting a new podcast in Beaumont. And I was like, no shade, but what we talk about is beyond their understanding. What we
right.
talk about is beyond Beaumont. We in
Mm-hmm.
all these different motherfucking countries. What did we hit last week? Saudi Arabia or something like that? I don't know. But,
Yeah.
and I'm like, they are not our target audience. Okay? They don't
Yep.
have the understanding. Some do, no shade for any Bow Monsters that might listen, because we are Bow Monsters by blood as well.
Yeah.
So who are able to listen, comprehend, and understand. There are people who are excited by the bullshit. Do you squirt while you twerk with your rose on number 7 while he got his thumb in your butt? Like, they like that. You can have that. That's not this podcast. We can joke on here. I like jokes and real conversations, but that's as deep as it gonna get over there. Over here, we talk about some real shit. I want to talk about
Right.
some real shit. And I was like, let them have this. Let them have that. Let them uplift that podcast and see what the fucking number 7 setting on the rose, what it might do to your body. They can have that. What happens when you stick a bottle of Casamigos in your ass? We'll find out tonight on the Bow Monster podcast. Let them have that. You can have that. I might watch it too.
Oh shit.
Girl, I was
You're
like,
fucking
girl,
wild.
I had to give her a whole pep talk. Like, I mean,
She
no
did.
shade, because it does feel like that when you feel like nobody believes in you, nobody
Mm-hmm.
supports you. I felt that before, but like, sometimes you got to reach within and see what really fucking matter, you know. But
Right.
we worldwide, baby. We're
Yeah.
global. The fuck? Period. Period.
Okay.
Now, having defeatist friends.
Mm.
If you have a friend who is a defeatist, like I said, I got tired of my shit, they got to be tired of their own shit before a change is made.
Right.
And some people, they don't get tired. They got 6 jobs, baby.
Mm. Kevin
Of
Gates.
course, you want to talk to them and you want to motivate them and you want to lift them up and uplift them. But some people don't want that. Some people want to be coddled. Oh, baby, come here. And they bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What is the definition of an insanity? Doing the same thing
Mm.
over and over, but expecting a different result.
Outcome. Right.
And I had a friend that was crazy.
Beyond crazy. That was a lunatic.
Bitch. Well, a few. Actually, I've known a few like that. He created chaos. He
Mm-hmm.
thrived in negativity and dysfunction.
Mm.
Now, I'm going to be honest. It took me a while to see the pattern because I was so removed from whatever situation he was in that he had every day. The only perspective that I got from it was his. But I did have a little inkling. I'm like, why is he in some shit every day? Like, are these people bullying him? Like, what is going on? But it was quite the opposite. Like I said before, your relationship with yourself bleeds into how you treat other people.
Right.
He had a very low opinion of other people because he had a very low opinion of himself.
Mm.
He created beef, drama, spreading the most heinous rumors about people at his workplace because that was the only place he ever went. That was the maximum human interaction he had for whatever day, his day-to-day life. But then he proceeded to play victim once somebody gave him the consequences of his actions. You know what they say, play pussy get fucked, right?
Hmm.
One thing about him, he was a crier. He liked to play on sympathy. During one of our many conversations, he's crying out for help after something he did something absolutely insane. He don't know what's wrong with him. I needed this, I needed that, but I don't know what to do. And I told him, point blank period, you need to spend some time with yourself.
Mm.
You need to do some introspective work.
Mm.
You need to remove the friends from your life that do nothing but verbally abuse you and cause you to reinforce this negative behavior.
Right.
And he told me, I can't be alone. I don't want to be alone. It's too scary for me to be alone.
Mm.
That is a problem. He was never alone. And I'm not bullshitting you when I say he was never alone. I remember I would wake up in the morning for work, check my Snapchat first thing, and see he would be outside driving in the middle of nowhere with God knows who at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd be like, what the fuck? Why is he out just on a random ass Wednesday? Like, what's really going on? But y'all can't run from yourself. That is a race you will never win. I swear to God, you will never win.
Facts.
You can distract yourself with the world, but you know the moments when you in bed at night, it's dark, it's quiet, you tucked in all by yourself. And then those moments you face yourself with everything you've ever said and done for that day, that time period, whatever's been eating you up, it's in the bed
Mm-hmm.
with you.
Right.
At that point, we were going in very different directions with our lives. I was doing the work, I was growing as a person. I was very proud of myself for the work that I did do. It was hard, but I've been doing it. I had hope for myself and that my life is just beginning. It's all laid ahead of me. But he, on the other hand, was a defeatist. He turned 20. Do y'all know what he said on his 20th birthday? I feel like I died and went to hell because I don't have the man, the truck, or the mansion that I want.
Child. Hmm.
Imagine living another unpromised year into adulthood, mind you, into a very transformative period into your life, not having gratitude for seeing, because a lot of people don't even get to make it to 20.
Right.
You feel like you're in hell because you don't have a boyfriend or these other material things. Baby, you gave up before you even started.
Mm.
You didn't even give your chance to do anything great. Make it make fucking sense.
My God.
Mm, mm.
Let me add on top of that. I knew a friend, and this friend right here in particular, I'm just gonna say a lot of things that he would see that me and Blue would do not only intimidated him, but it led to the I can't or I want.
Mm.
For example, I believe Blue has told the story. We have told the story, but basically we went out to eat for Halloween and or the day after Halloween, and it was just Blue was okay. Blue didn't give a fuck. Blue was living her best life. But on my end, it was like hell in fucking hot water because that person couldn't come because that person didn't have the funds or the needs to come. And it was just, you know, a pity party after that. It was like, oh, well, I can't live this lavish life, the life that y'all live. I can't do this because I do this and I can't do that. And it's like, as the person that was the best friend at the time, it was just like, well, why you feel like you can't do that? What is making you say I cannot do this? I blank the blank cannot do this. And his honest response was, well, I can't do this because I don't have money. I can't do this because it was, I can't say much, but it was just we're bringing death and from your family members and this and that. And it's like, I know sometimes death can do its number and it can really affect you, but does not mean it's going to allow you to give up on whatever you're trying to pursue or whatever you want to do. You
So
got to
trauma.
keep, yeah, you got to keep going. You got to know that even though you did lose this loved one, you doing it for them. You
They
doing it
will
for not only you, but you doing it
exactly.
for them. And they're
They
watching you.
mhm. They will want you to live your best luxurious life. Do it big on earth. Do it big
Exactly.
for me. Do your big one for me.
Exactly. They wouldn't want you to wallow or make excuses or say, well, I can't do this. I can't do that. You're making an excuse. Again, that it goes back to, it's not that you can't do it.
Mhm.
It's not that you're not putting the effort to do it. So therefore, you don't want to do it.
Mm.
So instead of saying the word I can't, let's substitute that word and just say blankly out loud, I won't do it
Mhm.
because I don't want to do it. I want to be looking at the four walls. I want to be sitting in my little cot. I want to reminisce on bullshit. Leave me the fuck be. And I'll be okay with that. Honesty, honesty is the key to success at all, period.
Mhm.
So be honest with not only me, but be honest with yourself. It's not
Mhm.
that I can't, it's that you won't.
And it's like you got nobody to answer to but yourself. Who are you explaining yourself to? Are you
Right,
trying to make yourself feel better or are you truly trying to tell me, like what's going
right,
on or like you making excuses for yourself? At the end of the day, only you know deep down.
right.
But that
Exactly.
person, I was going to touch on that. You have no idea what other people have been through in order
Mm-hmm.
to make their dreams come true or what they've worked to achieve what they have so far. So with
Mm-hmm.
that person, they were trying to be my friend, but still without getting to know anything about me. They
Mm-hmm.
looked at me and assumed I was born rich and bougie and privileged. Oh no, honey, baby, I wish I was sucking on that silver spoon. Oh no, honey, I come from working folk. But he had this assumption about me, but knew nothing about my reality. So then automatically had something against me because he assumed I would look down on him because of the picture, the image that he had of me in his mind of how I would perceive him. So that friendship was basically nipped in the bud. It was basically done before it even started, as far as I'm concerned. So it's like, why are you even trying to speak to me? If that person sat down and had an actual honest conversation about what
Mm-hmm.
they had against me, or if it's normal to feel insecurity or envy or jealousy, but that's something within you. Just face it, confront it, and handle it the appropriate way. That, as far as I'm concerned, like you don't see what people have been through. Like you didn't see me go to work at Chick-fil-A as soon as I turned 16 and worked my way up the ladder to manager. You didn't see all them late nights I was running the fucking madhouse till I was like 20 years old. They didn't see me crying in my motherfucking car, in my first car before my shift because I hated working there so much. But still, I put my hat on. We wore hats at the time and clocked my ass in. They didn't see the migraines that I developed due to stress from that job. They didn't see that I went and earned an associate's degree in a major I didn't want. I didn't want it, but I got it while working there, while I was uncertain about how life would
Right.
turn out for me. Granted, I did win like two scholarships and graduated early, and I ended up without any debt, so that's great. But I had to be smart. Like, I had to be smart and take whatever opportunities I could get and turn lemons into lemonade. I didn't want to do none of them things. Hell, I really want to work in the industry I'm in now, but I'm grateful I want the money in case they see this, you know. But in a perfect world, I would have gone back to school a while ago. But the world's not perfect. And I tell people all the time, you can't change the cards you were dealt, just how you play them motherfuckers.
Right.
We don't have control over much in life, but what do we have control over instead of focusing on I can't, I won't, I can't, I don't have this, I don't have that. But what T.I. said, start thinking about the life you ain't got and start thinking about what you do got.
Hmm. Talk it.
But had this person who made all these assumptions took the time to get to know me and allow our friendship to develop naturally, they could have just asked me, Aery, where do you come from? Aery, what's your story? Aery, how did you get from here to there? Aery, I need some advice. How do I handle this situation if you've been through it? Like, you could have learned something about the value and humble beginnings and realize that I'm no greater than you.
Right. Exactly. But they didn't get the chance to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
they do it the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, well, oh, well, she acts like this, so that means she's rubbing off on you, and you're acting like this with me, and I just don't understand why you're acting like this, and I can't live up to these lifestyles that you're living now, and it's like, nigga, what?
We just had
Like,
2 rows at Texas Roadhouse. What are you talking about?
like the fuck? Like what are you talking about? Like literally like Blue said, people feel the same way about where I come from. It's like, oh, well, you come from this rich. First of all, I come from the hood. I come from the north side of Beaumont, Texas. So bitch, I'm far from where the Braxtons and the Jacksons stay. But
Mm-hmm.
I come from a household that actually that had working people in there. My mom and my dad worked. My
Mm-hmm.
mom was a nurse. My dad was driving trucks. So it's just like I had the hustle in me at that young age because I saw
Right.
my mom and my daddy doing it. So it's like I wanted to hustle. I want to make money. I don't want to sit on
Mm-hmm.
my ass. I don't want you hear what I'm saying? I don't want to sit on my ass. I don't want to be a bum bitch. I don't want to do these things. Like, I
Right.
didn't want to do that. So,
Right.
shit, here I am. You get what I'm saying? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like people will look at me, and it's just like, oh, you act like you stuck up. Da, da, da. I've heard it so many times, and I don't see it. I can't see it because what the hell?
Right.
I'm not that type of person. I'm down to earth. But you just have those that just is like it's more. I feel like it's more of a jealousy and a like
Mm-hmm.
Blue said, it's more of a jealousy, well, laziness with them. It's like you see somebody striving, and instead of you trying to get put on or trying to be like, hey, friend, help me, like,
Mm-hmm.
help me get there, you want to talk shit, or you want to
Mm-hmm.
be like, oh, I can't live the lifestyle you living because, oh, I'm from the hood. Well, bitch, I'm from the North End. Started from the bottom, now we here. And it's gonna keep
What
going and
side?
fucking going. You act like I came from fucking a rich ass neighborhood. I'm trying
In
to
West
think.
Philadelphia, born and raised on the
Right.
playground, West Bend, most of my
Like,
days.
the fuck you act like I came from a lot. Like,
Well,
no.
motherfucker, let me tell you how I became the Fresh Prince of a town called Bel Air.
Hmm. The
But
fuck?
no, me too. Me too. Like, people are so like y'all need to just stop with the projection. Like, stop this little script of love and hip hop you got going in your head. Like, talk to
Exactly.
people, get to know them. Like, people would never believe me when I tell them where I come from. I come from the south side of town. It's called Pear Orchard or Peace-Side as well. That's my YouTube. That's my gaming channel name once I get back to that Peace-Side Posy. But anyway, I come from working people. My great grandma, like, she was a lady who was like, we might not have much, but you're gonna walk outside and look like you something. All
Right.
my clothes from Shein, on sale, JC Penney, all that stuff. Like, but I still look like $1 million sometimes. I be
Hmm.
coming on here just chilling. But like, when I go out, I like to step because that's what my great grandma was like. My grandma would tell me, "You are Toot." Like, that's her nickname. Toot. You are Toot's great granddaughter. You
Mm.
know, you go outside and look like you somebody.
Mm.
My mom, she was a single mother, doing whatever she could with what she did. Did we have this lavish lifestyle? But no, I wouldn't say lavish, but I was well taken care of. I was clean, fed. I never starved, and I was always dressed nicely. So people would think I just came from money, but it's like it's actually quite the opposite,
Right.
you know.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like my grandmother. I mean, I come from my family. We literally, if you see my grandma now, my sweet
Mm-hmm.
grandma, like before her sickness has come down on her, baby, Shirley used to step, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you see Shirley in church, Shirley had the hats on, the big extravagant hats. And if y'all know, it's them black churches with the
Mhm.
grandmothers that walk up in there with them big ass hats. Shit. Shirley walked up in there with the finest hat up in that motherfucking church with the fine suits. All that. She didn't play that when she go out in public. My granny made sure she had her hair done, her nails done. Didn't play that at
Right.
all. And it's just like my cousins are like that. My sister, rest her soul, she was like that. Even though she was a project bitch, she stepped out and bitches thought she was
Mhm.
wearing Gucci, Louis. Baby, she stepped out because she was that bitch. Okay, but I
Mhm.
mean, we from the hood. We are
Mhm.
from the North End. But it's like you can't be sitting here assuming shit and you don't even know you don't even know the backstory. You don't even know where I'm from for real. You just looking on what you assume. You looking at
Right.
what you see. You looking at what's in front of you. Damn, get to know where I'm from. Hell, get to know my middle name at least. Like, you don't know
Mhm.
shit because you're not saying nothing to me. It's the
Right.
assumptions. It's the what else. It's the oh da 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 da. Just ask. And
Right.
if I don't want to tell you, I don't have to tell you. Why? Because it might not be something that I want to tell you. It might not be
Yeah.
something that should be
You're not
allowed
entitled
to
to that
tell you.
information.
Right. You're not entitled to that information. So it's
Right.
like you take what you take and you get what you get, and whatever you take with you. I mean, hey, paint the motherfucking
Right.
image. I don't care, you know?
My dad and especially my grandpa was very big. Well, my grandpa is very big on how we speak and how we
Mm-hmm.
pronounce words. Like the word, like back in the day in the South, the letter R, instead of saying ara, you know how to say ara?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, you say R, even though he might say ara because that's the era he was raised in.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll be like, no, you pronounce it are. You know, when you walk in with you're talking to white folk or whoever, present yourself like you know how to speak. Like he would have a heart attack if he heard me speaking how I speak on the podcast sometimes. Because like, some days I'll be like, I ain't got, and he'll be like, you ain't got, you don't have. And I'll be like, I don't have. So when I would go to school, they would be like, why do you talk like that? And I would be like what? What do you mean? Why do I talk like this? So
Right.
it's part of the reason why I'm well spoken. Like my dad was like, well, my dad and my mom, my whole family was really big on education,
Mm-hmm.
being smart, being educated, you know, stuff like that. So it's just like that's things I value. So like people would just be like, oh, she's so stuck up and bougie, and she speaks like this with her words and things. And I'm just like you, bitch. I am just like you, but different in a different
Right.
font.
There we go. See, you talk in very elegant, beautiful cursive words, and then everybody kind of talks in
Thank you.
chicken scratch, But teach
You
his
know.
own with that.
Hmm. This episode ain't over yet, Buki. Let's continue our conversation on part 2. See you there.